Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new to this channel, this is Mavuto. In this channel, we discuss about different political science concepts, political theories, and other topics which are covered in the field of political science. In today's lesson, we are going to discuss about state as a political concept. You might be familiar with this concept or you know something about it, but I promise by the end of this lesson, you are going to know more about it. So make sure you watch this video up to the end so that you understand everything that I've prepared for you for today. I'll be back. So let's get started. First of all, we are going to look at the definition of state. So what is the state? Many political scholars have defined state in various ways. Even today, modern day scholars attempt to define state taking into account its modern functions. In 4th century BC, Aristotle, who is regarded as the father of political science, had defined the state. Remember, he defined politics as the study of the state. So he had to define the state as well. So according to him, state is a union of families and villages, having for its end a perfect and self-sufficing life, by which we mean a happy and honorable life. Let's try to understand Aristotle's definition of state. You see, according to Aristotle, a family is an association established by nature for the supply of money's everyday wants. But when several families are united and the association aims at something more than the supply of daily needs, then come into existence the villages. And when several villages are united in a single community, perfect and large enough to be quite self-sufficing, then state comes into existence. State exists for the sake of good life, not for the sake of life alone. So according to Aristotle, there should be happiness in the state, because if we pick the last part of his definition, which says by which we mean a happy and honorable life, it clearly shows that according to him, people should live happily in the state. So according to some scholars, this definition of state is so comprehensive that it can hardly be improved upon. Aristotle's definition of state communicates primary objectives of the state. However, we must study some more definitions of state. George Holland, this is an American historian. He also gave his own definition of state. According to him, state is the politically organized people of a definite territory. Professor Woodrow Wilson, this is a former US president. According to him, state means people organized for the law within a definite territory. Harold Laski, this is the British theorist and economist. He also came up with his own definition of state. According to him, state is the territorial society divided into government and subjects, claiming within its allotted physical areas a supremacy over all other institutions. The complete definition of state was given by James Woodford Garner. This is an American professor of political science. According to him, as a concept of political science, state means community of persons, more or less numerous, permanently occupying a definite portion of territory, independent or nearly so of external control, and possessing an organized government to which a great body of inhabitants render habitual obedience. So if we analyze these definitions of state, we can identify 4 elements which are essential to make a state. So let's look at the elements of state. So there are 4 basic or constituent elements of state. So these are population, territory, government, and sovereignty. So these 4 elements of state are divided into 2 groups. There's what we call physical elements or physical bases of the state, and political elements or political bases of the state. Physical elements of state are population and territory, while political elements of the state are government and sovereignty. Let's look at these elements in details. Let's start with population. You see, the state is a human institution, meaning it is people who make the state. So population is its primary element. Population simply means total number of people living in a particular area. So population of the state is the total number of people living within the state. Now the question is, how many people should be in the state? To answer this question, the Greek thinkers were of the view that the population of the state should neither be too big nor too small. Aristotle came up with a general principle that the population of the state should neither be too large nor too small. It should be large enough to be self-sufficing and small enough to be well governed. According to Plato, an ideal state should have the population of 5,040 people. Rousseau, this is a French political philosopher, increased the number to 10,000. But it must be remembered that all these political thinkers were thinking in terms of small city-states like Sparta and Athens, which were existing in the time of ancient Greece. But now we live in the modern states, and modern states vary in population. We cannot expect India to have such kind of population. We cannot expect China to have the population of 10,000 people. It's not possible. Now let's look at territory as an element of state. So like without population, we cannot think of state without territory. Land, water, and airspace comprise the territory of the state. A state can exercise its authority over well-defined territory. Fixed territory is necessary for emotional purpose. People need to have a fixed territory which they call motherland or fatherland. People need land for farming and other human activities. Even government itself needs land where they can construct roads, build schools, hospitals, and other infrastructures. Fixed, well-defined territory is also necessary for legal purpose. A state has control over land, water, airspace, and mineral wealth. Now let's look at government as an element of state. So people occupying a definite portion of territory cannot form a state unless they are politically organized or unless they possess a government. So government in simple terms can be defined as a group of people that runs the affairs of the country. Government is the working agency of the state. It is the political organization of the state. It is the concrete and visible instrument of state power. Arjun Appadrai, an Indian sociologist, defined the government as an agency through which the will of the state is formulated, expressed, and realized. In the words of Charles Frederick Strong, in order to make and enforce the laws, the state must have a supreme authority. That supreme authority, according to him, is called government. Now let's look at sovereignty as an element of the state. So the word sovereignty is derived from Latin word superanus, which means supreme. So the word sovereignty means supreme and final legal authority above and beyond which no legal power exists. So as an element of the state, sovereignty means supreme power by which the state commands and exerts political obedience from its citizens. Sovereignty is regarded as a soul of the state because when sovereignty ends, then state dies. Sovereignty has got two aspects. There's what we call internal sovereignty and external sovereignty. Internal sovereignty simply means that state is supreme over its citizens and associations, while external sovereignty means that state is free and independent from foreign and outside control. In the words of Harold Laski, this is the British theorist and economist, it is by possession of the sovereignty that the state is distinguished from all other human associations. Now let's sum up. So in conclusion, we are going to define state as a community of people permanently occupying a definite portion of territory, independent of external control and possessing an internal government. So they are four basic elements of state. These are population, territory, government, and sovereignty. Guys, that's all for today. I hope you have enjoyed my video. So if you have enjoyed my video, leave your comment down below. Like my video and also don't forget to share with your friends. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, do not hesitate. Subscribe right now so that you don't miss anything. Thank you for watching. See you in my next lesson. Goodbye.